Hi friends, welcome to Creating with Jovi, and from magazine to magnificent. This is my spring series, and I want to say it's my spring crafty series, but I also did a video where I show you my garden because there's some gardening stuff in here. But at any rate, what are we going to do today? Well, the other day when I was flipping through, we found these pages. We have this one where we can cut this out. And this one, actually, I had cut it out. Well, I only cut half out, and then I used the other half on a greeting card. Today, we're gonna make the egg holder. There's also another page in here that I wanna show you guys because I feel like these two crafts will go nicely together. So hold on, there it is, okay. So this page here says, decorate some eggs with decoupage, and I thought that might be a great thing. So let's go ahead. We're gonna pull this page out. Here is our cute little sample. So I guess I could take this out too. Let's see what's on the back. Yeah, just some pretty pictures. So let's take this out too, because we will know we've done it. Now I am cheating a little bit, my friends. I have to confess, I'm cheating because I am not going to boil eggs. I'm going to use fake ones. And I figured I could make these for Andrew. Ooh, and you know what? I could make some for Amanda and send them up to her as well. So let's get our eggs out. All right, first thing I'm gonna do to these is I am going to pop some candy into them. I don't think the Kit Kat's gonna fit. Let's see. No, not really. We'll move these over for Carl. I wonder if I could fit more than one of these in here. I think so. Oh, perfect. All right, my friends, this decoupage paper was gifted to me in Happy Mail. We are going to, oh, how pretty, my goodness. We're gonna go ahead and use this. So I'm just looking at it, seeing how to open it up. And there we go. And I think, so that I remember what this is, I am going to keep this and I'll put it back on when I'm done taking a piece of this out. Now the eggs are really small, so I kind of like the pattern of these butterflies. What do you think about that? Super pretty, right? I think that's perfect. I don't think I need, let's just have a look and see if there's anything different. Okay, so we got the small butterflies, and then we have the bigger pattern, but I think because of the size of the eggs, let's go with the small ones. Here we go, my friends. So we've got our eggs, we have our little things, we need to cut out our bunnies too. Remember, we're doing both things. So cutting out bunnies is gonna be next. But before we get truly started, I'm gonna grab my Mod Podge and get that out on my desk. And then I'm gonna grab a small brush and get that on my desk. It says not for shellac or lacquer, which is perfectly fine because we're using Mod Podge. My friends, I'm cutting and I'm seeing the scraps that I'm gonna have, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my, let's go ahead and get our heart punch out and get some hearts, right? So I'm gonna leave this out, and if I have bigger pieces like this, I'm definitely gonna use that because look at this, look how pretty, right? So pretty. All right, my friends, we're gonna use the Mod Podge paper the same as we would napkin, all right? Napkin, just in case that's what you're gonna use and you haven't done it before, make sure you peel all the layers of the napkin. There's usually at least 3. The first layer is pretty easy to get off. The second layer can be kind of secretive, and you might not even realize it's there because it's adhered so tightly to the decorative layer. But take 2 pieces of tape and put it on each side of the napkin and then pull it apart, and it will pull that layer off for you, and then you can gently pull the rest with your fingers. So the tape is a great hack that you can use. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and use this so we don't need to worry about layers. The one thing I kind of wanted to experiment with a little bit was, I'm gonna tear this. And I don't know how much I need for 1 egg, but probably this is more than enough. And then I'm gonna crinkle it up to soften the paper. Now, we're gonna see if we like this or not. We might not like it crinkled. We might prefer it to be perfectly straight, but I just figured I would do that. And then I'm gonna crinkle it again. It might have a different texture because of this. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. We'll do one non-crinkled and we'll do one crinkled, and we'll just see, we'll just see how that goes, right? Okay, this is our crinkled one. Okay, and let's get a non-crinkled. There we go, and then we'll need, so I don't know why I decided I'd do 4 eggs. Let's just do 2 today, because that's a lot, it's a lot to do. Okay, got it. I'm gonna go ahead and get this out of the way because this just talks about the napkin, if you're using napkin, okay? And we already went over that. I got these cut out. Now we're gonna go ahead and add one of our eggs. Now this is not decoupaged yet, but I just wanted to show you how this would come together. And then I'll remove it and I'll decoupage it. But I actually put a little piece of tape here that I folded over so it would sort of work as like a little stabilizer, if you will, just to hold it in place like that. And that way I could lift these up, right? So cute. And then, listen, I'm not sure. Hold on. What is supposed to happen here? Is this supposed to go like this? Oh, it is. Okay. So actually that's supposed to go there, so the tape worked fine. And now I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do another one just for the sake of stabilizing the egg. So here we go, I got the tape down. Oof. And like I said, I'll switch this out because the egg will come off of the tape very easily. All right, so we got that there. Now these come up like this. So let me show this to you. It's gonna look like this. But if we look at her picture of how she did it, she put some rope around it to sort of hold this in place. So let's go ahead. We'll grab some trim. When we're done doing this, we'll do our decoupage. But let's grab some trim. Oh, and boy, do I have trim. This was given to me in Happy Mail, so thank you, my friends. Look at this cute bunny trim. Let's use that. I mean, why not, right? Okay, my friends, I got the trim. I'm just gonna add some Fabri-Tac to it because I feel like that's the best way to adhere this. I probably cut more than I needed on the trim, but that's okay. I can always snip the end. Now I'm gonna lay this back down. It's a little awkward, because the egg is in there, but that's okay. Gonna lay that down. Gonna try to lay our trim over top of it. I need a third hand, right? And let's actually scooch it down a little bit. Why not? We have plenty of trim. Oh, that's gonna be cute. Okay, now let's flip it over. Hopefully I can get this right, and let's put it right here. Oh my goodness, look at this. And then let's bring this one over top of it. Okay, I'm not even gonna snip it, right? Okay, so we have our trim on, and oh, I popped the egg open. Let me I close the egg. Okay, once this dries, I am gonna show this to you. And I think that turned out super cute. Now, if I wanted to, I could go around this with stickles and sparkle it up and all of that good stuff. But what I want to do right now is get to decoupaging these eggs. Let's start with the wrinkly one. How does that sound? We've got an egg here, and we have our paper, and we have our decoupage. So, you know what I'm gonna do? I think it'd be easier if I just tear this into smaller pieces and then add the pieces to the egg. Let's try this theory out. And I'll take off like the straight edges, and that way everything's kind of consistent. Well, in like the messy way. Okay, there we go. And let's go ahead and we'll just tear these. And the reason is because the egg it's an egg shape. And so things are not gonna lay down on it perfectly. So I think we have to have smaller pieces. So let's give it a try, right? Let's try it out and see what happens. So I'm just dipping my glue into my decoupage, and my jar needs to, I need to refill my jar is what I'm trying to say to you guys. Okay, so I put it on the paper, and now I'm going to lay that onto the egg. And that's exactly what I'm going to keep doing, okay? This is a silicone mat that I'm working on, so it can get as messy as we want. It'll clean up pretty nicely. Yeah, this is a messy job, and so your fingers will get messy, which that doesn't bother me. I don't mind messy. Oops, it's rolling onto the floor. There we go, we caught it. I don't mind messy, but if you mind messy, just know decoupage might not be for you. All right, my friends, now we're gonna have a look at the egg, and we're just gonna press down any little pieces of paper that are sticking up. This one looks pretty good. Just gonna roll it in my hand gently, sort of get it into my palm like that to press the ends. And I think it looks good, and look how pretty it is. Oh my goodness, it's so pretty. But now, we're not done. Now we're gonna take this Mod Podge here, and we are going to go ahead and go over it with the Mod Podge just to seal it. Then we're going to let it dry, and I'll show it to you when it's all dry. And then while it's drying, I'll go ahead and do one with the straight paper, or the non-wrinkled. Remember how we left one just plain? We're going to go ahead and use that and see if that makes a difference. The wrinkled went on pretty easily. What can I set this in? I'm gonna have to go find a cup or something. So the same rule is going to apply. We're going to go ahead and have to tear this into small pieces. And you saw that even when we tore it into small pieces, some of them I had to tear into smaller pieces. So let's not be shy about doing that. You wouldn't think such a small little egg would take up so much paper. All right, I think we have a nice variety of sizes. Let's go ahead and get started on it. We'll use this blue one. I go ahead and get my decoupage on here just like before. And I think it worked great just like before, just getting the paper wet and then popping it onto the egg. And not any particular order. Now, the plastic eggs have this little bump where like the hinge is, and I just went over that and tapped the paper around it. So if you do choose to use artificial eggs, just know that you have to go over the bump, and I'll do that right now with this piece, just so you can see that we're gonna just go right over top of it. There we go, just press down around it, without popping the egg open like I just did. Yeah, there's a little wrinkle there, but it doesn't matter. On the wrinkled paper that I used, everything was wrinkled, so it didn't, you know, like nothing like that would have shown up, right? So that was kind of cool. So far, the straight paper, non-wrinkled, is fairly easy to put on, but I see that it buckles a little more easy. It's because it's a little more, I guess, firm and less flexible because it hasn't been wrinkled. See, it's causing me to pop the egg open a little bit because it's straight, so I have to put a little more pressure on it to get it to go down. And again, this is just because we're using an egg-shaped object. If it was going down on paper, it wouldn't be a problem at all. I'm not following any particular pattern. I'm just grabbing the paper and getting it glued on there. Yeah, so I'm gonna say this. I definitely like, for working on a round object, I like the wrinkled paper. I think it was easier. Oh yeah, definitely easier. The wrinkled was. Yeah, this looks great, my friends. Let's go ahead and get the decoupage on the outside of it. Then I'll blast it with the heat gun. And I'll show it to you when it's dry. You know, I gotta say, a pretty easy craft, pretty easy Easter craft that makes eggs, real or fake, look really pretty, right? I mean, since these are fake, I can keep these and decorate with these year after year. All right, I'm gonna blast them with the heat gun and I'll show them to you finished. Look at them, aren't they beautiful? I love them. I'll be able to decorate with these year after year. I could do these with a bunch of them. They could go into a bowl, they could go into a vase, I have a couple of little egg holders, they could go in the egg holders. You could stick them on top of candle holders. A whole lot of ways to decorate these. Really, really fun. And so many beautiful napkins out there. Imagine the different looks you could have. And then you could take and you could add trim around the center if you wanted to. You could add stickles to certain parts of it. There's a lot that you could still do with these, but I wanted to just share this fun idea with you, again, out of our magazine. So from magazine to, what am I calling it? Magnificent? Is that what it is? I think so. From magazine to magical, magnificent, all that good stuff. So there it is, my friends. I really appreciate you spending some time with me today, and I hope you'll join me for the next one. Thanks for watching. See you soon.